Hi, I am Ola Sun, and I'm going to read two poems that I wrote last week. One is shorter, the first one, and the second one's longer. Okay. The lines connect, the shadows crept over and under and through the crevices of the hills. O holy inclusion, O barely illusion, O married infinity. I see, I seek, I be. I know unreality delicately caresses the stillness of my breast as I sit amongst the sky and the hills, the mountains erect, intact, constant, stance. They hold, and they teach me not to mold, but to be. I feel, and I less and less fray, and I recomposite the layers of clay walls of self-diluted infrastructures into scoops, to hold the waters of my beingness, deep and sound, and also like a cloud. Fresh and pure, the air I breathe surrenders me to steep in the new and imbue, and so, so, so true. Your blue eyes, mine. My hope drapes around my shoulders so safe, and I know that I don't. And woe, the breeze, my chilled knees touching the dirt, my feet slightly numb under my seat, my throne, my poise. Oh, stillness, so kind, like the trees, how they listen, unjudging, but still feeling. I feel the interdimensions unfolding. I feel my soul brother's yearnings, his movement like a ship amongst the seas. I've been a seagull waiting for these, for this, the fine, the refined, the voyage shining. And my mermaid soul swims amongst so many dreams. And am I now solidified into a person? Capable of human submersion, capable of magic renderance, magic postulation, magic supreme, the mist, of rationale divine, of respect us, and respect all life, for it matters, and it sinks, and it swims, and it floats, and it strives. O holy divine, O ships that we breathe forward, O breath of stealth and grace and intrigue, and so many lessons. Our souls just hold, our souls just hold, our souls just hold all the blueprints, all the shipwrecks, a crash course, a divorce from an unwant traject, lost its course, and oh good, because it just wasn't time. It wasn't then ripe, the ripening of time herself, the base and the breath, the holy unwind, the natural find, the of course always coming back to reintertwine. The rhyme finds, the find rounds, the round pounds, or gently touches on the back across the shoulder. Dear sir, your table is ready now. Realization. I created all of my illness and injury and stress and difficulty. Because of self-suppression. Heavy, true, wholly anew, power pulled back inside, yes, inside. I climb up from the well of my own deceit, of myself from myself. Wow, okay. Well, there is a context, and the context is that I've just received acupuncture for my neck, which would not move and would not allow me to sleep due to pain, due to the external happenings of over-ska dancing to a friend's first-time heard band and a 12-year-old overdue snowboarding injury. The external, that's the external. The internal is, once inquired, found, that I must speak my truth. I must hold my head straight and up and high, and I must step into my masculine. And there's no room for nicety and nice making. This is ingenuine. What is genuine is my truth, powerful, true, blue, print of my soul, extricated through stillness, required of me, for my momentum shows the weights on the rings of experience, the weights of qualities too heavy for their opposite to do anything but spin out of balance and be called in. A dance exhaustive for my stance, for my place in the journey of self-actualization, so much work done, at a culmination point now of seeing the how, doing it now in every moment now. Not a theoretical framework, not an application, but a stance. A still being in the center from now on. Though forgets happen, so the remembrance can shine bright and the loving contrast. Yes. Don't want some nihilism here. Don't want to scrape at the experience into numbness. I'm not into the apathy or out of fear or resist or fear or subsided spirit, but rather in a way of acceptance and walls continually re-pulled down in remembrance of now. And this is abstract maybe. Flowing gravy on the philosophy already cooked and mushed and delicious. But yes, okay, the way, my way, the in-between quality, the balance at the center, the same bodily grounded necessity of balance Kundalini awakening, which also requires the removal of poison and also sugar to a large degree actually, and exercise and balanced eyes for seeing and mental need to drop the greed and drop the fear. Okay, a lot of instruction here, just wanting to be clear and thorough for my ones I know out there in need of a little discussion around this subject matter, so largely unknown, but I feel it growing. The experience. In numbers, the young especially, their cosmic experiences. The same bodily grounded necessity of centering. Centering amongst the chaos, and a degree of allowance, a whole lot of allowance, total and complete allowance, the Reiki symbol for feminine ascension called in now. The inclusion path, the way of allowing, no repression as well as no forcing, but being with and allowing release. All the self-help practices on any sort of applied and thus received release and relief, sustaining the evidence of this. We must allow our emotions to come through so they can release. Otherwise, they stay a cloud in our field, eventually manifesting illness. We need to express ourselves. Go figure. And I'm being highly poetic, and perhaps some linear storylines will make this more accessible, or will it make it less? Exposing my humanness, the human mess of happenings, my own rebelliousness, my fury at the poisoning of my own bodies, the bodies around me, the synthesized food and sanitizers of the chemical industry, my extreme fury, the way I was told not to show certain parts, however subtly or not subtly, the programming of femininity, the oppressions, binds on definitioning, the stories swollen and stolen, fucking swollen of malintent, malconsent, propagating processes, misleading, disrupting, distorting, disempowering, the fury contained, repressed inside of the fury pressed in and expressed organly. Oh, dear liver, I'm so sorry. The rage contained, the silly abased, the harm reigned in the public space, requiring me to be quiet. How fucking rude, how cruel, how stupid. To make a child contain their emotions, to create such pressurized inward focalizing of suffering. Poor bodies kept aligned with tyranny. Could it be done any other way? O analytic mind, you serve mankind with your endless strive. You serve mankind with your unnodding plotting. You serve yourself to liberate the shelves kept so complexly, the corridors of the mystery core of the ministry of magic. J.K. Rowling exposed some metacodes amongst such intrigue and integrity shown, dark nights of our souls collectively glown in such wonderful stories. And here I am, and what I see quite extensively impressing, the complexity of structure, idea, picture, concepts. Oh, 19-year-old me, my ajna opening, woeing, freeing, gleeing, freeing, woeing, freeing. Myself from within. Oh, the binds, the bins, the rots, and the spots to just cut the fuck off. Like many words which really don't serve us, like many concepts hijacked and destroying. Sit with us and feel what bliss can come with a whole lot of bullshit allowed to die, the cry, the call to it. Let the bullshit die, extract it. Let the bullshit die, excavate it. Let the bullshit die, invoking. Truth and simplicity come to reign the lives of my friends, my age, and not the stars, the uncaught, the free, the sea, the bee. Bees and trees and paths through the forest, social dynamics can take their courses, can explicate, expand, diversify, artisan visions of paradise. So purely, so surely possible. We need to keep at it. I need to keep at it. The pressure's so intense, it's really fucking orgasmic. The intense suppression, invoking through counterbalance, such extreme flowing, my natural glowing. The way of knowing it's all okay, because each experience was allowed and processed. The why of the need of the yin way. Oh, dear yin way. Oh, sitting with. Oh, being with. Oh, listening. Oh, hearing. Oh, sweet receptivity and its inherent clearing. Sweet receptivity and its inherent clearing. I've made myself sick. I was the one doing the repressing. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I tried to fit in. I tried to be what was expected of and hoped for me. Quiet. Child. Quiet. Lies. The lines of breeding, the lines of cleaning the race up for some half-conceived ideas because our eyes were clouded, half-distracted at some desirous need to fulfill some hole because the rotting soul spots excavated at the trauma-induced unprocessedness. The overuse, or is it underuse, of processing, the fucking implications of object relational ontology, the noun, verb, noun, grammatical enslavement of our over-nounizing and thus objectifying if only our subject, which is an object, is what acts. An act is what it does upon another object. Objectification, putrefaction, process forgotten. Serving imperialistic cosmology, striving for colonialized ideology, the takeover inherent in the languaging itself. All these fucking constructs lead us back to ourselves, and they're breaking. Because what complexity here serves to do is bring us back to simplicity. Our rolling, like balls, our future, our structure, being reinvented all the time, the nature of the line becoming something quite quantum-like, the line becoming a string of spheres, and the space shifts quite drastically. And as I discover my own responsibility of creating my reality, suddenly all these pockets arise, the interdimensionality glimmers, winks at me amongst the mountains, the grass, the cracks and the wetted, dry dirt below me, as I wait for this man to come give me my drawings back. I am responsible for my reactions. I create so extensively such impact. I define, I align, I direct my mind and my emotions all around me, calling in karmically and spontaneously, though subjectivity allows me to connect complexity of lines into a self-story, a whirling in and out of the lessons which intrigue my soul, which flow, pull in and out exactly the lessons which will call me out on my bullshit. I am responsible for the pressure, the migraines, the ulcers. I am responsible for the pressure, the pressure, the pressure. I am responsible for the reactions. And it was all self-repression, and holy fuck, yes, I'm at where I'm at, but I see clearly that I was creating even then with unexpressed reactions, holding in, stifling, the fucking stifling, the brooming under the rugs of my loomings, my beautiful looms, the knots, the tangles, the welts of feelings, attempts at hiding, and yet the tapestry off kilter at these, following me around, like my lenses were clouded with subtle distortions and disproportions for some reason, my passions, and my love of creating unfocalized against the wraths of my making. The twerking, the twisting, the criticism amassing, underlining so much externalization of these my own creations. When I wasn't releasing, I wasn't appeasing, I wasn't holding tender my own feelings. I wasn't holding tender my own feelings. I was avoiding them, and thus erasing from the conscious framing, the pressing down into the subconscious floors and basements, which I was fearful of as a child, especially the churches that looked like a dungeon. It hid in my nightmares. All of my creation, all of my creation, all of my creation, all of my making, all of my taking in and not letting out, oh pressurization, oh ulceration, oh dear little child body, yes, reflectivity and yes, indigo mimicking, but all the same, the floor and the basement, the floor and the basement, foundational placement, which I will remake. Thank you for listening.